Okay, there's a lot of conflicting information on the internet right now. I'm not a medical doctor, so I'm not going to tell you who you should listen to, but I am experienced with rhetoric, logic, persuasive language, and the tricks used by people who are trying to deceive you. So what I'm going to do is tell you who you should not trust. Okay, a lot of these tricks I'm talking about that are used by different political agenda figures are the same techniques used by shady businessmen when they're trying to sell you something that you really don't need. They shouldn't work, but we've been so dumbed down over the past several decades in our education that we don't really understand the rules of logic, so we opt for our feelings over reason. So when I say you can trust someone, I'm not necessarily saying that what they say is correct. I'm just saying that they are being genuine. So when you can trust someone, it is because when they present their argument, they stick to the issues. They treat you like a thinking adult, and they appeal to your mind by presenting facts. Now, unfortunately, that's sometimes pretty boring. It's wonky. They overload you with statistics and real empirical data. Now, a popular video is being passed around right now. It actually does that. It presents you with facts. Now, contrast that with the rebuttals I've seen, which hit pretty much almost every one of these techniques that I'm pretty much inspired this video right here. Now, a trustworthy rebuttal would go point by point and refute the fallacies of each argument that was presented by the opposition. Now, instead of doing that, I saw today a medical doctor not refute a single thing that was presented in the video. Instead, what he did is first an ad hominem attack. Ad hominem basically means to attack the man. There's two different aspects of an ad hominem attack. The first one is you attack the person who is bringing the message so you can avoid actually addressing the message. So what they do is they try to destroy the credibility of the messenger. That way you just don't even listen to what's being said. A second technique, and this is very common today, is they like to attack anyone who disagrees with them as stupid or crazy. Now, rule number 5 of Sal Alinsky's Rules for Radicals is that ridicule is man's most potent weapon. Why is that? People are social animals. The majority of us don't like to be excluded from the group. So same as kindergarten, when they would surround you in a circle and point and laugh and call names, they've applied that same technique today to make you feel that if you don't go along with the majority, you're going to be isolated and ridiculed and possibly even harmed. Now, in the rebuttal video I watched, his entire rant, without presenting any medical facts, was that he simply can't believe anyone in this day and age would be so crazy to believe such ludicrous nonsense. Only morons would ever watch such things. Now, this is not a liberal mindset. If you consider yourself a classic liberal, you want every argument, every voice to be heard, every person to come to the table and present the facts, because you believe the truth is the most powerful thing and it will be heard. If the truth is heard, people will recognize it. So, tyrants know they need to suppress truth. If they can do it by the sword, they do it by the sword. When they don't have the sword at their disposal, they resort to ridicule. Now, another logical fallacy is contained in what this guy was doing. It's called begging the question. Begging the question does not mean, as we kind of use it today, is like to ask the question. It doesn't mean to bring presuppositions into the argument. Begging the question is a logical fallacy of using your initial premise as your evidence of that premise. For example, if you're to say, people who believe conspiracy theories are nuts because only nuts believe conspiracy theories. Nothing was said there. You just repeated the same thing backwards in the second half of the sentence. Now, I'm not saying you can't make such bold statements. I'm tend towards hyperbole from time to time myself. But if it is not supported with data, if it is not supported with reason, if it is not supported with factual elements, if it's not supported with history, then the emperor has no clothes. The next is the appeal to authority. Very popular with people who love the big state. It all goes, all the experts say, ... and you can fill in the blank. I'm not trying to get any specific issues in this. I'm just showing you the techniques that are used in issue after issue after issue. So all the experts say. Well, first, that's never true. There is never a complete consensus in the expert community on any topic. It is not true. And even if it is true, so what? All the experts once believed that the world was flat. I'll even go the other way. I'll say all the experts today, or most of the experts today, believe that the earth is round. My answer is, so what? Tell me why. I don't care who and I don't care how many believe a certain thing. Explain to me, why is that true? It's a theme in Orwell's 1984, which I'm going to do a whole segment on 1984 and how it's being applied today. But the basic question is, if the whole world believes that 2 + 2 is 5, is the madman the one who knows it's 4? Or all the ones who believe it's 5? I contend it's important to know that 2 + 2 equals 4. So this appeal to authority is really just a variation of the earlier things we stated. They discredit certain people so that nothing they say could possibly be true. And then they put halos on other people so that nothing they say could ever be questioned. It's also a fallback to this whole desire of you wanting to belong to the group and not look stupid. If only all the experts say this, then only a whack job would possibly ever question them. Now, in reality, all the truly great men of history were always the ones who challenged authority and who questioned the alleged experts. The last one I'll cover today, because it's lumped into the other ones, is this whole impugning motives. If you're labeled as evil, then no one has any obligation to listen to anything you have to say. People will say, you just want people to die. That is an absolutely asinine statement, and they know it. But when they say it, it can give them the feeling of moral superiority, while at the same time relieving them of that terrible burden of having to actually think through the ramifications of the policies they're forwarding. Or further, even forwarding any specific policy at all. So I'm actually going to do a whole series on the Declaration, the Constitution, all the great works that led to our culture, the most freest and most prosperous nation on the earth, at least up until 2020. I want to give you a foundation for our beliefs. I'm also going to go into the evil philosophies which threaten our society and have infiltrated us, and the tactics they're using to destroy us. So I just had to throw this in now because I'm seeing so much going on. Sorry for going out of order, and this isn't the proper introduction, but instead of this being, this should have been in the middle of the series, it's the first one. So if you like it, come back for more. But until then, think for yourself.